I want to share with you today, and what the focus is for us to learn about today, is how to really appreciate that love has many different forms, and that the most important one that you will ever have or want to develop is your relationship with you, self-love. So, how many of you feel like that's an area that you could really learn more about, that you would like to step into? And maybe you're not even sure what that really looks like or what that even means, because I will tell you this. In talking to, now I've been coaching for those of you that don't know me, my name is Sherry Nichols, and I've been coaching for over 15 years now, and primarily with women who have been betrayed and really feel like crap, and I was there. I get it. I totally know. But the one thing that I always hear is how it has impacted their confidence, how it has impacted their sense of worth, how they feel like they're not enough, how they feel like they just felt thrown away and unappreciated. And so that's why I decided to do this training today around self-love, because that truly is the most important love you can ever experience, because everything you desire in life, that deeply connected, loving relationship that so many of you want, it starts here. It starts within yourself. And it's not, I'll tell you, self-love is not just getting a manicure or a pedicure or treating yourself to a massage or 10 minutes of reading. Self-love is so much more than that. It really is so much more than that. And so when we're not connected to self-love, we find ourselves in places where we feel lost, where we feel disconnected, where we feel empty, and where we're constantly searching outside of ourselves to be validated, or we are overcompensating, people pleasing and doing whatever we can to gain approval, just like, okay, I'll do this. And then, are you going to, kind of pat me on the head and tell me that I'm great, and this is so common. And listen, I get it. And I'm not judging it, because it's the way that so many of us were raised, especially women, to really to be of service to everyone else but ourselves. And so a lot of times we think it's selfish, but true self-love is not selfish. True self-love has to do with you developing acceptance of yourself and compassion and kindness and uh, uh, really standing in your truth, speaking your truth, setting boundaries so that you can have the love that you would absolutely desire. And whether you would love to have love in your life in a romantic sense, or you want to enjoy your life and really grasp the joy that life has to offer, it doesn't matter, because it all starts here. It all starts here. So I want to begin, today I'm going to share with you tools, that a system actually that helps you to develop self-love. But before I do that, I want to share with you a time that I went through that was really, really challenging and devastating, that caused me to take a look at how well was I loving me. So I want to take you to a time where I was sitting in my living room. It was pouring rain, which was very unusual in California, Los Angeles, where I live. And I was sitting on the couch with a big box of Kleenex that was basically empty and all the tissues used in it, because I was crying buckets. You see, 2 months prior to that, just 6 days before I was going to go in for in vitro, I discovered that my husband had been leading a double life and was planning to leave. And when I discovered that, I was so devastated and literally paralyzed and frozen with shock and heartbroken, so heartbroken. All my dreams, whew, just went away like that. It was like what my life just turned upside down. And I felt like I was falling off a cliff with nowhere safe to land. Have you ever felt that same sensation? I know so many of you are in this group because you've been betrayed. I know what it's like. I was there. And as I sat on that couch, having gone through all my tissues, feeling like my heart was gonna break, shocked that it hadn't actually already broken because the pain was so intense. And tell me in the chat, have you ever been that? Have you ever felt like that? Well, I got up and I went to the bathroom to get more tissue. And as I went into the bathroom, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was pretty horrified. Not just because my face was swollen and red and puffy from all the tears, but because when I looked at myself and looked in my eyes, I didn't even recognize myself anymore. And I thought, who am I? Where have I gone? What has happened to me? And I felt so lost. Have you ever been in that situation? And I tell you, I was angry and sad and devastated all at the same time because I thought, I was mad at God. Why did this have to happen to me? Why? All my friends are happily married and having their families, beginning their families. Why did this happen? Why did my husband find somebody else and leave and is having another life with another woman? Why could I not have a child? And I longed to have what my friends were having, what I thought I was supposed to have, a family, and to travel and to expand and grow in this relationship that I was in and had been in for 13 years. But in that moment, it was a defining moment for me because in that moment I realized, oh my gosh, I don't want to be this person who is lost. I don't want to be stuck in pity parties of tears, in pools of used snotty Kleenexes. I want to live my life. So, Sherry, here it is. You can sink further down into this hole or you can swim. You can rise and you can swim and you can start a new chapter. You can swim into a new season, a new chapter. What is it going to be? And I chose to swim. But as soon as I made that decision, I was so scared because I thought, you know what? What if I find out who I am and I don't like me? Or what if I find out I'm really not enough and that I am flawed and that nobody's going to love me? What if? But I also had such a drive to move forward because being so miserable, it was out of the question that that was going to continue for me. So I chose, despite the fear, I chose. And then I set out to discover how to do it, how to transform. And I studied with the top people. I hired coaches. I went through therapy. I studied. I went into programs. I invested over probably $300,000 in finding out how to change, how to transform so that I would never experience this again. And in the process, I documented the steps and I took what I documented and I wrote a book and I created a system that I used to help me get to the other side. And I had this huge nudge to not only write this book, but to help other women to get to the other side as well. So I quit my job that I was very successful in, and I chose to coach. I chose to step into really my calling. That's what it was. That's what it felt like to step into my calling. And now I have the honor and the privilege of having coached hundreds of women to get to the other side of their pain. And I've impacted thousands of women. I'm so blessed and honored to say that through my articles and through my events and my workshops and my retreats and my YouTube videos, I have had the honor of impacting women to get to that other side, to move through their pain. And so, even though I've never had a child, my clients are like my kids. I am so, so grateful to my clients. And I'm so proud of them. And I so appreciate every time they move forward, that they're blossoming, they're transforming. And it is such a beautiful gift for me to see and to witness and to be their mentor and guide. I'm not lost anymore. I found myself. I found my calling. I know what I am here to do. And it fills me up every single day with so much joy and contentment and fulfillment. And I know that I am lovable. I know that where I source that love is the key. And I developed a relationship with that power that is breathing me, with God. And through that relationship with God, I found my strength. I found my calling. I found the truth. And every day I feel the knowing of his love, that I am loved, and I will never look outside of my own heart for that validation again. And so I get to teach women how to connect to that source themselves, so that they will never look outside of themselves again for validation and for love, so that they can be whole and happy as I have discovered how to be. And so that process, that system that I created, I condensed. It's a 7-step system. I condensed it into what I call the 4 C's, which are, I'm going to share them with you so that you will have an understanding of how to develop this self-love and the system that is tried and true and proven. I've done it with hundreds of women, and they have gained their self-worth from it. The first C, it's based on the 4 C's of a diamond. The first C is clarity. The first C is clarity. Clarity of really knowing who you are. Knowing who you are. That is so important. If you don't know who you are, you're never going to have the love that you desire outside of yourself, because we teach people how to treat us by the way we treat ourselves. And how we learn how to treat ourselves has so much to do with understanding and learning who we are. If you caught my interview last week with one of my clients, Jan, one of my previous clients, Jan, she talked about this, how this was so huge when she started working with me, how she didn't even know what she liked. She didn't know anything about herself. So that's the first thing, the first C. And if you haven't watched that, you will want to watch it, because it is super inspiring. The first C, clarity. Know who you are. Discover who you are. The second C is carrot. Carrot is about understanding your worthiness, your significance, your value, knowing who you are and knowing whose you are. See, it's layered. Now you know who you are from that discovery of clarity, and now you know whose you are, and you gain your value and your worthiness from that, because just from breathing, like if you take a mirror and you breathe on it, that breath that is coming through, that is the breath that is breathing you. And because that breath is breathing you, just because that breath is breathing you, that is your number one understanding of your worth. You were born, you are worthy. But just because we know that intellectually, my experience in coaching over these 15 years is that doesn't always translate in the body. Doesn't always translate in the body, because the third C, which is cut, comes into play. And that is all the ways that we dissuade ourselves about our worthiness, feelings like I'm not enough, or I'm not lovable, or who would want me, or feel like chopped liver, especially if you're in a relationship where your husband is gone outside the marriage, and feeling like why aren't you enough? All the feelings that go into play, and the beliefs about who you are that keep you from really understanding your worthiness. We work with in the C of cut. We want to cut those away. When Michelangelo created the David out of a big slab of marble, somebody said to him, "Oh my gosh, how in the world did you create the David out of that big slab of marble? And he said, the David was already there. All I did was chip away at all the things that were not the David. So the same is true in the C. The third C is cutting away all the things that are not you, that are not really you. And then the fourth C is color, becoming the most colorful version of yourself, where you know who you are, you know your significance and your worth. You have cut away those things that have kept you from really truly being able to step into it, and you are living full cover, technicolor. You are vibrant, you are radiant, you are vitally alive, living your beautiful essence. And all these four C's, they create your diamond power, which is your significant connection to your light, your unique essence. It's the connection to the divine love, the all that is, and this gives you your strength and your courage and your confidence. And that diamond power was given to me when I first started. After I went through everything I went through, and I was in that discovery process, and I was really asking and praying to know who I was meant to help and what I was supposed to be doing. And I very clearly was shown by God that inside of each of us is a diamond. The only, it's our connection to our light. However, as we go through life, curveballs are thrown and disappointments and all sorts of things that cover up our light, that keep us from remembering who we really are. And so that's the goal, is to get back to that diamond power, your connection to your light, your connection to the divine love, that all that is, so that you can find your strength, your courage, your joy, your unique essence. Because when you discover that and you are shining brightly, you are bringing forward all of you in your most colorful, unique sense, so full of love that you are able to attract all the things that you desire in life. That's why you want to develop your self-love for yourself, and also so that you can have everything you desire, because God wants you to have a life of joy. God wants that for you. We have to do the work, though, to get us to that place where we are aligned with it. So, in summary, the four C's are the clarity, the four C's to self-love: clarity, carrot, cut, and color. And if you would like to find out more about how you can attain these four C's to self-love and develop your own diamond power, reconnect to it, not develop, well, yeah, you want to reconnect to it. I would love to support you in that, so that you can have increased confidence, have more happiness, have more courage, and more self-esteem. And so if you would like support with that, you can DM me, or you can schedule a time on my calendar, and I'll put the link. But you can certainly DM me and we can talk one-on-one. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. It has been my honor and my pleasure to be with you today. I am so grateful for you saying yes, for being part of this community, and for stepping up for you. Sending you so much love. Bye for now.